Debt can feel like a crushing weight, a burden that's impossible to lift. But what if I told you that the Bible offers a formula for overcoming financial struggles? In 2 Kings 4 verses 1 to 7, we find a powerful story that reveals how God can turn scarcity into abundance and teach us principles to pay off debt. Our story begins with a widow in dire circumstances. Her husband, a prophet, has died, leaving her with nothing but debt. Creditors are threatening to take her 2 sons as slaves. Imagine her pain and fear. She was desperate, but instead of giving up, she turned to the prophet Elisha for help. Her first step is a lesson for all of us. When overwhelmed by debt, turn to God. Too often, we try to fix things ourselves, but God invites us to seek Him first in our struggles. Matthew 6 verse 33 echoes this. Seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. When the widow asked Elisha for help, his response wasn't to give her money or resources directly. Instead, he asked her, "What do you have in your house?" She replied, "Your servant has nothing there at all, except a small jar of olive oil." This is a key principle. God often uses what you already have to create a breakthrough. You might feel like you have nothing, but take a closer look. What skills, resources, or opportunities has God already placed in your life? That small jar of oil, no matter how insignificant it seems, can become the foundation for a miracle. Next, Elisha gives the widow a strange instruction. He tells her to go to her neighbors and borrow empty jars, as many as she can. Then, he tells her to pour the oil she has into the jars. This is where faith comes in. Imagine how difficult it must have been for her to act on this. What if the oil didn't flow? What if her neighbors mocked her? But the widow didn't let doubt stop her. She obeyed in faith, trusting that God would work through her obedience. In our lives, paying off debt requires similar faith-driven action. Maybe God is calling you to take a step outside your comfort zone. Starting a side business, creating a budget, or seeking financial advice. Obedience is the first step toward a miracle. Elisha specifically instructed the widow to pour the oil behind closed doors, with only her sons present. This detail is significant. God often works miracles in private before revealing them to the world. This teaches us an important principle. Trust God's process, even when no one else is watching. Financial restoration starts in the private places. Your quiet time with God, your disciplined financial habits, and your unwavering faith. As the widow poured, something miraculous happened. The oil didn't stop flowing until every single jar was filled. When she told Elisha what had happened, he said, "Go, sell the oil and pay your debts. You and your sons can live on what is left." God not only provided enough to pay off her debts, but also gave her and her sons a way to sustain themselves moving forward. This shows us that God's provision is abundant and sufficient. He's not just interested in helping you survive, He wants you to thrive. Let's break down the practical lessons from this story and how we can apply them to our own financial situations. 1. Seek God first. Like the widow, start by bringing your financial burdens to God in prayer. Psalm 55 verse 22 reminds us, "Cast your cares on the Lord and He will sustain you. Trust Him to guide your steps and provide solutions." 2. Identify your resources. Take inventory of what you already have. Do you have a skill, a hobby, or even an item you can sell? Just as the widow's oil became her miracle, God can use what you have to create financial breakthrough. 3. Take action in faith. Faith requires action. Create a budget, cut unnecessary expenses, or explore additional income opportunities. Trust God to bless your efforts, but be willing to step out and do the work. 4. Involve your community. The widow borrowed jars from her neighbors, showing the importance of community. Don't be afraid to seek help or advice from trusted friends, family, or church members. God often uses others to bless us. 5. Be disciplined and trust the process. Financial restoration doesn't happen overnight. Just as the oil flowed steadily, trust God's timing and remain disciplined in your efforts. The story of the widow in 2 Kings 4 verses 1 to 7 is more than just a historical account. It's a blueprint for how we can overcome financial struggles through faith and action. God's formula is clear. Seek Him, use what you have, act in faith, and trust in His provision. Remember, God is not limited by your circumstances. The same God who multiplied the widow's oil can multiply your resources and provide for you in ways you never imagined. So, if you're feeling burdened by debt, take heart. God's promises are true, and His provision is abundant. Trust Him, take action, and watch as He works miracles in your life. For more faith-filled inspiration, subscribe to our channel and share this message with someone who needs it.